The numbers on the ground for Williams a week ago. 23 carries, 88 yards.
And when I watch them operate, I see a unit that's playing with extreme confidence. Offensive line, tight ends, wide receivers. You see a group that wants their number 8 rusher in the league end up being in the top 5 before it's over.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
Rodgers going to try and throw on 3rd down. He's going to look deep down the field. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Oh, and now he bowls him over. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Bringing them out will be Kirk Cousins, born just outside of Chicago, played his college ball for the Spartans at Michigan State.
I do hear some mild criticism of Kirk Cousins and his play the last few seasons in Washington, mainly because the team was just 24, 23, and 1. But I also saw a quarterback with an offensive line that essentially introduced itself to each other in the huddle before the first snap. In Seattle, that's one of the best defenses in the NFL. Win that game with big plays late. This is a tough-minded, hard-nosed, gritty quarterback that tends to inspire a team to play better around him. Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool him, right? Tried to trick him. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Now before they run this 4th down play, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside. Here in this first quarter. So still a scoreless game in the first, but they're going to go for this thing on their own side of the field on 4th down. They'll indeed go for it. It's Cousins. And he's able to find Diggs. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. 1st down on a pickup of 11.
Well, peel back the curtain, partner. We've got a pretty good look into how they plan to play this game. Aggressive seems to be the word. Going for it on 4th down in that situation.
Yeah, opening drive. Now, we know this coaching staff, they have traits of aggression in their history, but what a start to this game. They're going for it.
Yeah, a lot of people might say reckless, but they got it. 1 for 1 on 4th down here early in the game.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line.
Detroit! Detroit!
Back to the air, Simeon on 2nd down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
I'm not sure that this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and got the ball to him. So, 2nd catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So, if they can get him going in the passing game, that should open up his running game, too. Cousins on 3rd and 2. Going deep for Diggs. This is caught inside the 15. Cousins finding Diggs on a big one. 47 yards.
Okay, 3rd and short, the mindset of the defense, probably playing the run first. But if you're playing any type of pass coverage, tight coverage, press coverage, and offenses often convert their routes at that point and go farther downfield. And that played off in a big way for them on that one. A big-time catch downfield.
And it's a welcome back to health for last year's #1 pick. This is Dalvin Cook. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Tackle there by Clay Matthews.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Cousins now on 2nd down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. A good display of footwork. It gets him just inside the 5 to the 4. After the play, not a good sign. Dalvin Cook staying on the ground. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. A 2nd down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3. Here's Cousins. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. Remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker roll that they can fall back on anymore.
And before this 4th and 3 play, we're going to get whistles and a timeout. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. This offense converted once already in this first quarter. They're going to try it again here on 4th down. They'll try and run with Murray. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Latavius Murray, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Vikings have taken a first quarter lead. Oh, and it's a fake. They'll try and throw for him. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. I thought the days of the fake extra point were numbered once they moved these kicks back to the 15. Apparently, I was mistaken.
Yeah, I was wondering who was ever going to try to do this. In fact, I quit wondering. I didn't think it would ever happen. Taking a fake from the 15-yard line to try and pick up an extra point, I didn't think anyone would ever call this.
So an onside kick fail in the first quarter. Not sure I completely see the logic there.
It's not apparent, is it? You almost have to go deeper, I think, and maybe if we try and work along with them and speculate a little bit here, they must feel like they need to steal possessions in this game, and maybe they don't match up possession for possession with the opposite team. They've got to steal it.
And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Sheldon Richardson with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's...
Well, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Anthony Barr in there to get him, and this pass rush strong now. That sacks on back-to-back plays. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him yet again, and he must be shell-shocked back there. That's now back-to-back-to-back sacks, and it's 4th down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely he's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game.
Defense.
That hurts. If it was running into the kicker, wouldn't be a first down. Roughing, it is a first.
And just think about the differences between the two. Running into the kicker almost feels inadvertent, just a small tap, so to speak. But when you rough him, usually bodies are hitting the ground and flying all different places. And the difference is 5 yards or 15. And in case, that's a big play.
So a big break. The roughing the kicker called on 4th down leads to 1st and 10. From midfield, here's Rodgers. And Graham's got it over the middle. The 20. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. They give him a gain of 37.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
On 2nd down, Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the 2nd quarter, it has been a struggle. Under 4 to play now. Clock running, 3rd down.
319.
Now it's Rodgers. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Sheldon Richardson in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Richardson, the former NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year back in 2013.
Yeah, just remember, this guy's talent is absolutely undeniable. And don't worry about his sack numbers. He's rushing from the inside most of the time, but he creates such havoc getting back to the quarterback, breaks down pockets left and right.
So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
And now out comes Minnesota. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. They start the drive with Cook. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, Cook. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Vanderbilt's own Oren Burks had the tackle defensively. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On play action, Cousins going deep for Diggs. It's caught inside the 25. And he takes it down deep into Green Bay territory. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. We're back to Lambeau following these words. A reminder coming up at halftime, the coach is back. He made it through the first weekend. That's the good news, and he's going to regale you with stats and scores from around the NFL here in the early games in Week 2.
You think he questioned coming back for Week 2, having to work with us?
I think he did. He's just happy that he is far away in Orlando. He's going to get it running right. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Now from the 9, here's second and goal. They get it to him running left. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. Mike Zimmer's made the decision. His guys will go for 2. They'll try to run with Murray. And he is not going to get in there. He stops short of the goal line, and the lead is going to stay right where it is. So now, Charles, 2 touchdowns, 2 tries at 2-point conversions, and both fail.
And you want to say, let's go ahead and run the kicker out there from now on. But the problem is you're chasing points at this stage. So now you're going to dial up more 2-point conversions and hope you're successful from here on out.
Second quarter onside kick there that failed. Is that something that maybe they had dialed up before this game started?
It feels like it, doesn't it? That they thought they had the right situation, you know, and the right approach in going after it. Also may signal that they feel like they have the superior team.
And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Everson Griffin in there to sack him for a loss of 6. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down again. Everson Griffin in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. And this is going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Here's J.K. Scott now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Here's Stephon Diggs as he and the rest of the offense get ready to go again. He's been really good in the yardage category, yet to hit the end zone, however.
A minor blemish against him right now because the work he's doing catching the ball, in some ways he's helping serve as good ball control because the big plays that he's making have really helped out his team.
Absolutely. They're winning on the scoreboard here in quarter number 2. A gain of 3, second down. Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Second down, Cousins. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Blake Martinez, the linebacker, was there in coverage to disrupt.
Well, partner, so much for the mismatch. How about the guy at the 2nd level, that big linebacker, able to run with the receiver and make a play on the football?
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. A toss to Cook. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They get 14 yards there and a 1st down.
I remember the first time I saw Dalvin Cook play in college. I was watching him on TV, called a scouting friend of mine and said, "Who is this guy? He's special." And he said, "Dude, you're watching a home run hitter on the field."
Yeah, he was special in Tallahassee. Left Florida State their all-time leader in rushing yards and touchdowns. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Final play of the half. Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So there you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But
it got his man complete. A big play there for Minnesota. 46 yards. Cousins giving this Vikings offense a bit of a spark early on in his tenure in purple as his guys have it first and 10. On first and 10, Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. That's going to be caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Two guys go into his under a heavy rush, and down he goes. So tried to throw it in for 2 points, but the D got home, brought him down.
Yeah, got home, which means there had to be good coverage. Just had nowhere to go with the ball. Typically, you're trying to throw quick hitters, quick slants, you know, maybe even a quick fade. Nothing was open. He ends up getting sacked.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now Rodgers. The left side throw complete to Adams. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. It's a loss of 2. Now third down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And he's going to miss this one. That is no good. Well outside the left upright, and this score will stay right where it is. So an empty possession there. What do you think went wrong, Charles?
Well, it looked like maybe the plant leg might have given way just a little. And when that happens, guys have a tendency to pull through the ball to compensate. And in doing so, sent this one off target.
Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55. Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. That's caught inside the 20. A big play there. Cousins to Thielen. 41 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than a defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
From the red zone now, Cousins. And this will be incomplete. The great veteran Clay Matthews able to knock that one away in coverage.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone and throw into the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Now Cousins. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. Off the play fake, Cousins. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I remember a coach telling me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just flying by, and these corners have been really busy in this game, although they got it done on the last play.
On the last play, yes, but there have been some good numbers put up against him offensively. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that will make this now an 18-point ball game. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, then no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. They give them 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit. That's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Again, it's Williams down right around the 25. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays.
And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Danielle Hunter in there with pressure yet again, and that's the 7th time they've dropped him here this afternoon. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the...
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
Well, that field goal block pretty much sums up the day for them, doesn't it?
Boy, it really does. What's the word we often use? Symptomatic. It's just been a sign of how this one's gone.
Give a lot of credit to the guys who got in and blocked the kick. They've had the advantage all game, and they continue to press it.
So now a chance for points in the opposite direction after the blocked field goal. Throwing is Cousins. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now at Lambeau. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. They go play action. Cousins. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And that is incomplete. Rashad Breeland there defensively and able to knock that one down to the ground.
This defense could use some more of these types of plays. How about him reading it, driving on the football, and he's right there for the pass breakup.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. Running for it, here's Cook. And he's got this down to the 35. Facing a fourth down, they come away with 18 yards and the first down conversion.
It's always been funny to me, Brandon, when coaches always talk about on hot days like the one we have here. Oh, it's hot for both teams. But when one team has the advantage, when one team is running the ball really well and closing things out, it's hotter for the defensive side, and they sag a lot quicker.
Yeah, they say the dog days of August, the heat we're seeing here today, dog days of September, and the advantage right now on the offensive side. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down fourth quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just saying, let's just keep running it out, and we've got them now.
Throwing, Cousins, going to throw deep for the end zone. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's fourth down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Fourth down, Cousins got his man complete over the middle. It's Morgan. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one. Fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked in the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Back to the ground, Cook. And he'll take this one down near the 15. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. They run it again with Cook. Broken tackle. Cook with a first down and much more. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Now Cousins going to bring his guys up for the 2-point try. They'll try to run with Murray. And he will dive into the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is successful. And is there bad blood here? I mean, go for 2 when you're up that much?
If there wasn't before, there is now. When you do that, you've just announced to everyone, you just don't care about the other side at all. All you care about is what you're doing, and they just want pile-up points.
They did. And this one's going to be covered up by the Packers hands team. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better
Roughing
and better.
the kicker. Defense.
So not just running into the punter, but roughing the punter.
And I'm struggling with this one. You know, you're watching it, partner. Is it more the first rather than the latter? This is a tough one. Almost feels like he felt like he had to call it on that play.
58.
On first down, Rodgers. It's caught outright by Graham. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
319.
Rodgers to throw once more. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got it first and goal as they look to punch in a late score.
58.
On first and 10, here's Rodgers. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A gain of 7 that time. Second and goal.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone.
And this is caught. Well, they get one back. Picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. Oh, I think the Packers got it. Yep, Green Bay football. So the onside kick is recovered. And, you know, I always thought, Charles, as someone who didn't play these positions, that going over the middle as a receiver or trying to recover an onside kick, those are two very tough things to do.
It takes a lot of fortitude to put yourself in that position, but you have to do it in order to help your team win.
Unable to recover it, it costs them. The kicking team gets the football here. So good field position for the Packers as they come up first and 10.
319.
They begin the drive with Williams. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down. Rodgers now on first down. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football, but it looked like a Packer. Yeah, a Packer was able to get this back, and they'll indeed keep possession. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Now Rodgers throwing on second down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Working from the gun, Rodgers. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Adams. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. And they pick up 25 as they convert on third. And again, it's Rodgers. And down inside the 15 he goes. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Rodgers now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's first and 10. Into the red zone. It's Rodgers. Caught on the right side by Adams. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Davante Adams, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Packers make some inroads here on that deficit. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And they're able to cut this deficit down to 12. That time a 6-play drive. And it ends with a Packers touchdown. So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Now a play fake here on first down. And oh, it's complete. What a catch at the 7. And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers, as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on first and goal. Throwing here, Cousins. The quick slant caught. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Adam Thielen, his second touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling, but inside is thinking 24-hour rule, because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure, because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive and force the issue and try and bring pressure.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. And he checks this one down to Williams. Past the 20. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. A big play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Packers get a score closer. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches, because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Crosby with the extra point, and that'll make this now an 11-point deficit. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. And the Vikings hands team able to recover. And that should just about do it. The risk reward of the onside kick. When you don't get it, the risk comes out to play. And here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything, because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them. And field position leads you to that type of play calling. And whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things, now that they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
Cousins here to throw. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46.
up and I'm feeling like a boss right now. I woke up and I'm feeling like a boss right now. I'm gonna hold it down, I swear. I roll up and I'm smelling like a right now. I do this for my rounds, oh yeah. Feel like in the real life, dripping on sauce in the good life. You shine, I shine, and ain't nobody gonna take mine. I just wanna be a boss. I will never ever fall. Chillin' like a boss on my feet up. Got a bag for him with a visa. Pulling up the leader. Getting out while I'm on the. She's a keeper. Burritos. Get to the pesos with amigos. I cannot put no zeros. Thought you went out. No, I can't show you no love, baby. I am a boss in the cut, mayday. Bubbles and these models are. It's poppin', I tip her. I skip her, I give her. Girl, you on my line right now. Yeah, I can see the signs right now. Feeling like a boss right now. Feeling like a boss right now. And you just took a loss right now. Dripping in the sauce right now. Get a sprinkle up my style. I'm about to lock it down. Feel like in the real life. Dripping on the sauce in the good life. I shine, and ain't nobody gonna take mine.
Let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
I feel like a boss right now. Talk to the man right now. Oh, yeah. Feel like the man right now. Your girl on my line right now. Oh, yeah. Shorty ought to be my, me. Oh, yeah. She love me in the gray sweatpants. You know that I left. Yeah. Feeling like a boss, I done made it. Get so like a spaceship. I swear my life is amazing. Blowing money, no hesitation. Up, downs, no basic. I know these be hating, but that's what made me feel like in the real life.
Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
I shine, and ain't nobody gonna take my home. I just wanna be a boss. I will never ever fall. I woke up and I'm feeling like a boss right now. I'm gonna hold it down, I swear. I roll up and I'm smelling like a right now. I do this for my rounds, oh yeah.
My have an all white rank. Couldn't hit if that ain't. Lanes can't call and you lame. You had it and you lost it, all the shame. I can buy a Billy, don't talk to me. For a show 150, don't talk to me. You ain't never help your mans, don't talk to me. You just follow all the trends, don't talk to me. I set the bar, I'm the bar. Look in the sky, I'm a star. I don't fall in love, cause I be loving. They ain't like my shirt, extra large. I don't care, I crash a ghost. Got 2 cribs in 2 states, I be doing the most. I got white folks money that I won't blow. And if you ask why, cause the white folks don't. Big bank, tight, low bank. Big bank, tight, low bank. Type of money you gon' need a sight. The type of money you gon' need a buy. From the hood, this type of money make you stay away. Type of money gon' let you.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Buffalo Bills and the Minnesota Vikings. To return, here comes Marcus Sherrills. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line. Of course, last year, you think about Dalvin Cook's injury in Week 4 with a torn ACL, just hoping that he can stay healthy in 2018.
And if so, we'll see plenty of runs that will be big time in 2018. Because in 2017, he took over the starting running back job as a rookie and was off to a terrific start. In fact, if you ask people in the Minnesota Vikings organization, they were giddy at the fact that they were able to get him outside of the first round and plug him into the lineup. They expect him to be big time in this season.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. That good for 19 and a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
They go play action here on first down. On the move to his left. Throw left side complete. It's Morgan. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. Quickly now, a look at the Buffalo defense.
I'm focused on Tre'Davious White because as a rookie, 4 interceptions, terrific coverage, and an excellent tackler in the run game. And remember, the Buffalo Bills had the number 10 pick his year. They moved back and still came out of it with Tre'Davious in the NFL.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Look at the spin.
Balance.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a first and goal. The impressive opening drive continues, and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
They'll run with Cook. And that'll get him halfway there as he takes it from the 6 to the 3-yard line.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call run fits, everyone was in the right place.
Now they'll run. Murray. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Latavius Murray, his second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. That's just a solid, methodical drive to start this game.
And how about how it culminated? Doing exactly what they wanted to do, getting the ball downfield, and then running it into the end zone. I'm just telling you, partner, when you run it in rather than throw it in, that hurts a defense psychologically a heck of a lot more.
Dan Bailey now for the extra point. Bailey got the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Bailey now to kick this one away. Set to return now. Here's Deontay Thompson. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. So here come the Bills on offense for the first time. They'll have the former Oklahoma Sooner calling the shots. At quarterback will be Sam Bradford.
Okay, I thought game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver? And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run wild here.
What do you think, 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that.
And the pressure gets to Bradford, and down he goes. Oh, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, here we go. 3, 9.
So the shotgun snap to Allen. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do, in this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
First down, here's the run with Cook. They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36.
Let's go.
Cousins now on second down. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with third down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
To throw, Cousins finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he gets it down to the 32. It'll be a gain of 4. And that'll bring up fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you...
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And this one will not work out. It is incomplete. It would have been a long field goal. The fake doesn't work out. And as a first-rounder, a lot of eyes on him, a lot of expectations.
And he has to play well in his rookie year. Those days of coddling guys and bringing them along slowly, those days are long gone. When you're drafted in the first round, they expect you to play right away. And the community's eyes and fan base, they'll be on you the entire way.
And you take a look at this. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Bills in possession. But they face a second and long to start things out.
Here we go now. Blue Lightning.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
On 3rd and long, it's Allen, and this is going to be incomplete.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Here's Sherrills.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
This is one of the dangers of going for the punt block.
And you know before you even call going for the block, it's a risk-reward play. So many factors come into it. They went after it, and you know punters, what they do? They leave their leg up at Near an extra count or two, hoping someone comes into contact.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
Let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And this one is incomplete. Malcolm Mitchell out of the University of Georgia was the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Here's Allen. Open man, here's Foster. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. And no doubt he's come out of the gate strong. Only in week 3, and you see the numbers thus far.
And we always talk about identity, setting a tone, you know, getting the groundwork laid for the season or for a game. And that's what they've done with the running game so far. It reminds me of...
That's caught at the 25. A big play there. Cousins to Thielen. 46 yards. Cousins giving this Vikings offense a bit of a spark early on in his tenure in purple as his guys have it 1st and 10. Handoff comes to Cook. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. They pitch it out to Cook. Dances by him. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Throwing is Cousins. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Give him 2 yards on that play. And that's going to make it 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And Bailey able to knock it through. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So he splits the uprights and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn into first downs and hopefully points.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside.
And he will score. Touchdown, Buffalo. Josh Allen, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bills draw a bit closer. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his. And now it's blocked. It's picked up, a live ball here, remember. But he doesn't get far. They're able to stop him. And after all that, the extra point attempt unsuccessful.
I know it's easy to kind of shrug off a blocked extra point, but this game is shaping up to be a tight one. The second half, this could prove crucial.
Yeah, we might look back on this one. We'll have to wait and see. Now the Vikings now heading onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
No gain on the play there. Second down. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And now the Bills are going to stop it as they call the timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on third down. Out of his end zone, Cousins. And that is incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on third down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. Sheds off the tackle. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Bills are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. Out comes Zay Jones with the rest of his offense as they take the field. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of